You wouldn't believe he's going to be, I think this year, 92 years young.
3.
Oh, 3, sorry, I'm wrong again.
Right.
It's only a number, Sam.
Right. Right, that's the museum there. Part of the museum, some of the bikes, that's my NSU. The NSU dealer, the V8 for the good seats, UOV, DKW, MC1 BSA, Dealer 4, the Bunch 4, Ernst Degner's 125MZ, V4 Supercharged AJ, my Monday All was third in the World Championship on that one there, that one there, that one there, that one there. There you go. We've only got 550 bikes in the museum now. That was last week. So
Sam,
here we go.
Sam, what would you tick off as one of the best achievements of the developments you did in this wee bike?
This wee bike, the famous World Hearst Cup, Northern Ireland, all works, sponsored all the works, team come. 1 year Miller with best and observation on that. Unbelievable. Anyway, there you go. Very lucky when I was building it. Managed to get 60-degree head angle, which is the same as that, and that. Right? High boy. High boy means you go tubes under the engine. 1951 Miller had it there. That's a high boy. 50 years, 60 years before anybody else. So, no maximum ground clearance. 53-inch wheelbase. Footrest way back. In those days, everybody had the footrest way up front. Miller had them way back because that was the place to be. So, quite lucky, quite lucky. So then we go on to this one here. Again, super lightweight frame, oil on the frame, 60-degree head angle, 1.5-degree offset here. 52-inch wheelbase again. Work on all this. And believe it or not, girls, you all hear about tire warmers. Formula 1, all these guys wrapped around the tires. Miller had it 70 years before them. There's your tire warmer. I should have patented that, but I didn't. I wasn't being a rich man if I patented it. So I was away in front of Formula 1 guys, you know, they weren't thinking properly of Formula 1 guys.
Sammy, can I just make an observation? Those footrests look fantastic for that period, because if you looked at the scrambling guys, they were using round bar, and you'd already developed these.
Yeah.
How did you keep your boots on round bar on a wet day?
Yeah. So then after the area we went with that, did all that, Harvey did pull it out, we had a 250, got decent forks on it, and made a factory review one night. Proper gears, really great wheelbase, nice styling, lovely, lovely bike to ride, but everybody rode those. They were instantly up the results, and just transforming the riding greens and funny bikes and J-Mons and Barrels and HT at 502 knots and terrible. Then I went to Honda, again, high boy frame, same head angle, got it all neat, footrest well back again, and waterproof hubs. That's the little just thing that I made there. That's what I'm talking about. With Mr. Foggy Night, couldn't get his head around it because he hadn't designed it.
Sammy, is that the Honda that you rode over a big American car when you rode over?
Yeah,
Was that
America, yeah. Give the Yanks a bit of a demo, riding over the cars.
It looked a bit daunting, because I'd seen you ride over a Volkswagen Beetle, but that thing was a lot more demanding than a Volkswagen Beetle.
You often talk yourself in bad situations when you're an American. These American guys are always giving you a hard time, you know. And I remember in front of a boat, we're in a big quarry, like I'm looking over the edge of this shit, you know, stink down there. And then the band started. Oh, can you do that? Can you do that? You're supposed to be good, Andy. You're supposed to be good. So Miller hit the bullet. So he lunged himself over this. Halfway down, I was in free fall. There was nothing touching the ground. The whole thing, I was And in the air, halfway down, looking at the bottom of this cliff, was a bit of a scoop like that, so I managed to get it right. So I said, there you are, lot, have a go at that, but I didn't do it again.
Sammy, I'm standing here looking at GOV 132 and I'm looking at my friend Andy Johnson, and I remember being pea green with envy up at the P65 Scottish because you asked Andy, do you want a shot on GOV, and he had a brawl around the schoolhouse and up and down the grass on GOV, and Mike and I were pea green with it. No, we weren't jealous, we weren't envious.
Well, you see how I cut the weight out? That's plastic, paper there. So what is it? Enthawed, the aluminium bolts, lots of bolts, titanium. Dowdy made those for me. We used to make a twist grip, but that wasn't too successful. But there we go. Great, and I'm down to 6 days a week working in the museum now. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Sharon looks after the museum, but I love the restoration department. Yeah,
I can see from your videos that you enjoy it. I really admire your frankness when you're working on these bikes.
Right.
Well, because you're so honest. You were talking about making brake cables, and you had a brake cable in your hand, and you said, you can buy these brake cables over the counter. They're all right, but they're not good to Miller, and you threw it over your shoulder. And then you started making a brake cable.
Absolutely. Well, if you're making a cable up, you can get the right length, you can get it the right shape where you want it. Otherwise, you get these other ones that are too long or too short. So all these here, lovely length. They all fit. You see how neat and tidy they are. Whereas you buy production ones and they're all over the place. You see all these cables, all neat and tidy.
Sammy, imagine a situation where, forget the glorious, really, really rare, famous bikes. These are glorious and famous. If you could only have one of these bikes.
That's what everybody asks me.
I know,
and the answer is I love them all.
Then you've got to make a choice here. One of these bikes, you're only allowed to keep one. Which one's it going to be? GOV. Why is that very simple?
How many wings did I have on it there? 380 wings. And you get bonus in every one, girl. Not good.
Do you think the days ever coming when Sammy's Trials Championships will be beaten? 11 British Championships and 2 European Championships. I wonder who's going to be around on the planet that can ever beat that record, Sam.
Well, all records are there to be
Well, I can't help thinking that's going to be a difficult one. Hi, given that you're 93 this year?
Keep your voice back. Ladies listening to you.
You're 93 this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not impressed.
Come on, give us a clue. What's the secret?
Well, first of all, I try to ride a bike every day. 10 minutes on the trials bike, because some sections by the museum, not in this, we're washed out. The floods down there, they're underwater at my sections, so, but I try maybe 10 minutes a night, as often as possible, on a push bike. I do a TT, 6 laps of the museum every night, but that keeps me, keeping going.
I remember phoning you one day at the museum, and you weren't in, and the lady answered the phone and said, he's gone down to the shore, he's gone for a swim.
Yes. Well, very lucky, we live down Barton-on-Sea, and the sea's only 5 minutes away. So, good night, go down for a quick swim. Great job. Keep on the case.
Yeah, I mean, really, Sam, it's a joy for us all to be here, see the bikes and hear the stories. It's just incredible. If you think about it, Belfast's a big city, your hometown. The move to Birmingham, Birmingham's an even bigger city. It must have been a strange move, a strange feeling for you moving to somewhere as big as...
I look back at some of the things I did, like, and you couldn't get your head around it, You couldn't honestly get your head around it, And setting up, living in digs in Birmingham, scrabbling about, and going to night school in Birmingham. And but the sheer love of riding, you compete at the weekends. That was the highlight. Just I got to do it, had to do it.
Yeah. then,
And I wasn't going home with a tail between us legs.
no, exactly. And then, of course, the move to New Milton, a very different environment.
Yeah.
But you really had to go there because Rickmans were the
They were the importer of Bultacos. The senior bolter said, we would like you to work with the Rickmans, so if you've got any problems with the Bultaco, you can help them. So we moved. I was ready to go. We were ready to come out of Birmingham anyway, and so we moved down to the New Forest and embarked on the sea. I was born by the sea in Belfast, so there was no contest. Further to travel, but there you go.
I remember as a kid, the man next door used to pass me the motorcycle news to read. I was so keen. And I was a message boy for a grocer's shop.
Yes.
I see pictures of Sammy Miller in the motorcycle news riding up a stream, or a burn as we call them in Scotland. And I used to go up burns on my message bike with the messages in the basket, thinking I was Sammy Miller.
I hope you didn't get it wet.
I know. But the other thing, of course, the scrambling, I've said to you before that you didn't do an awful lot of scrambling, but you were Northern Irish champion.
Yeah.
But I was telling Andy Johnson yesterday, I found an article where you'd come to the north of England to ride in a scramble and you spent a fair bit of time in hospital in Keswick.
Yes. Again, trials was more or less in the winter when I lived in Birmingham, so the summer was a bit slack, so I decided James gave me a works scrambles bike, so won a few events in the Midlands, and then Easter weekend there was two meetings, one at Perth and one at Bathysway.
Yes.
And so Miller, it was good money. I cleaned up at Perth, so I was up to Bathysway. The first race, it was all overgrown by big clumps of crap and all of it, so I remember it well. It was round the first corner, like fourth or something, and blast off down the straight. I hit one of these fucking lumps of turf and ended upside down. I tried to gather myself up, and all of a sudden, shit, I'm paralysed like. So I said, shit, you must have had an electric pylon or something. Some guy behind me, he was called Tyson.
Malcolm Tyson, I know who that would have
Thought
been.
you'd forgotten that.
Yeah, he was from that area.
Yeah. So he flattened me with his gold star. So I ended up in Bathysway Hospital for a fortnight or something.
Oh, crikey.
Pelvis broken and bloody ribs all smashed up and cut in the face.
I hope the James didn't get damaged by the Goldie.
Never seen it again. Never seen it again.
Sammy, you've been fantastic. It's always a joy, and I think we've enjoyed sharing your stories. Your endless enthusiasm for motorcycles and the legacy you've got there at the museum. Anybody that's not been to the museum, I've not been since the extension, but I'm going to sort that out very soon. But you really need to get down there if you can. And we don't see you in Scotland quite so much anymore because it's a long, long way.
It's a full day each way.
Yeah. But what we still have up in Kinlochleven, where the pre-65 Scottish and the 60s used to be involved a lot, you still see on all the lampposts and in the windows of the pubs Sammy Miller stickers. You see them everywhere up in the Highlands.
You've got one on your back.
I can bet I have. But Sammy, thank you very, very much.
Well, anybody who wants any motorabilia, we've got, Sharon's got t-shirts and museum guides and books, and this is a new poster we used got done, so...
Yeah, that's a fabulous one.
So, decoration for your workshop. There you go.
Come on, folks, let's have a huge round of applause for Samuel Hamilton Miller, the one and only trials legend, road racer, scrambler, grass tracker, ISDT rider. Where does it end? Hill climb winner, Red Marley. Yeah, absolutely everything. Thanks very much, folks.